All right, we're back with another summer chat. Uh, nice painting, huh? Let me see here. Let's see if we get some folks to join us. And they should be up in a moment. Perfect.
Hello.
Got it. Finally. Was that too hard?
No, I figured it out.
Perfect. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You like the painting in the background?
I do. Yeah, that's awesome. Where
Yeah,
are you on
actually.
the East Coast now?
Yeah, I am from the East Coast.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
how about you?
I'm originally from the Bay Area and I'm living now in Durango, Colorado. So,
All
yeah.
right, all right. I just got back. I
Okay,
literally
cool.
just today I just got back. I'm so like nearly tired.
I bet that's a big travel. It's
Yeah,
like longer than you would expect.
yeah, I think I technically lost 3 hours, but super nice. I was like for the whole time I was down there, I was like on East Coast time, so I was waking up like 6 a.m. every single day.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
Well, I'm
gotta
glad we could connect.
yeah, for real, for real. Let me just put this over there. Oh, yeah, I got it. Hey,
Nice.
no, go back to what you're doing. Hey, so this is actually another council member. This is Council Member Joe. We're actually brothers, but hey, I asked him
Hey,
to come
nice to meet
by
you.
and just say hello.
Cool.
Yeah, hey. We've actually been hosting some of these summer chats, so I'll give you a debrief on what the council is, and thanks for showing up, Joe. Yeah, he was holding that sign forever. Ignore me. Yeah, yeah, we're talking bikes. So, let me first introduce the National Youth Bike Council. I know it was a little bit spontaneous, and we just asked you to hop on. But
Yeah, no,
another question I want to ask too is like, how young are you? I think it
I'm
said like
22.
perfect, perfect. Yeah, I am 21, and you are a professional racer.
Yeah, yeah, cross country mountain bike.
Sick,
Hmm.
sick. That's totally inspirational. Yeah,
Thank-
so the National Youth Bike Council is a group of young people. With myself, Joe, we have a few other members in a few different states. We have one member that's also closer towards you. They're in Seattle. And we just want to be leaders in the cycling community because we realize there's a lot of youth voice that's not heard in the cycling community. And so we're definitely trying to change the game there. And as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I was like super excited to see that you're a youth professional in the community. And I just wanted to ask, like, how did you sort of work your way there? And did you want to ever do any other career before you got there? So yeah, let's just start. Like, how do you get there? Besides obviously being good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I grew up in a super small town in Northern California called Inverness, and it's in a county that has a lot of cyclists in it, but there were not a lot of people like my age getting into the sport. I had two older brothers they rode, and that's what kind of pushed me and inspired me, and to always be better than them or chase them or whatever. So they really helped me. But yeah, as far as like getting into the sport, I was helped a lot by NICA. Um, so each high school um, has a high school team, and we would race all together as a league in Northern California. So that was something super cool in high school that I was able to like find more people kind of my age riding and racing. But at the same time, like I was also super inspired by the older racers and seeing this as something. I'm a pretty competitive person, so seeing this as something that you could actually pursue and compete in was really inspiring to me. And I think I kind of took off with NICA and then just started getting myself to different races. For a long time, it was just the mom and pop team, me and my parents driving down to some random place where there's a bike race and sleeping in the car or tent camping and then racing the next day. Um, and then I kind of got some opportunities to race internationally and kind of took off from there. But yeah, I mean, I think like what's so cool about this sport is that you don't have to do it competitively. And I think that's why I love it because just riding your bike, like it's such an amazing vehicle for transportation around towns, cities, and also just a way to live a healthy lifestyle and really use it as like a lifelong sport. I mean, there's a lot of risk that comes with competing, but hopefully I can stay healthy my whole life and keep riding forever. So, yeah.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I was gonna ask a few questions, but you already hit a lot of them before I even had to ask. Like, how do you feel about cycling? But clearly, I can see how you feel about it. What's your favorite type of bike?
Ooh, well, I might be kind of biased here, but I mean, I'm a cross country mountain bike racer, so we go like our races are like hour and a half around a 3 kilometer track, and we're usually doing like 6 or 7 laps, just all out.
Yeah, yeah.
And so mountain biking. But yeah, right now I'm riding a pivot. They're pretty awesome. So yeah.
Got you. All right, that's pretty nice. I did at one point like try to get into doing like racing. I'm more of like a road person. Like I had that
Yeah.
like really bad need for speed. But I learned very quickly like I just don't get in the time, to put like the training in. How much time like do you normally spend training and like just I guess working on the craft?
Yeah, well, I am also a full-time student, so I'm
Oh
a
wow.
senior in college. So balancing the two is a balancing act,
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
I'm still trying to perfect. But it kind of depends. Our season goes from like March to September, where we're pretty much racing a few times each month. So it's pretty packed with a lot of travel. But in the base season, we call it, is like November through March, and um, it's usually like 20 to 25 hours on the bike a week, with bike and gym. And then in season, it's a lot less, a lot more like 12 to 16 when you're racing every weekend and traveling a lot. So definitely takes a toll on the body.
Yeah, I can imagine. I when I was just there in San Francisco, I thankfully I got hooked up with the e-bike while I was out there, so I didn't have to worry about too much about the hills. But I really want to explore a lot, and so like that waking up at 6 a.m. kind of thing sort of threw me off. But I still was able to get in some pretty good rides. It's so nice out there. I'm
Yeah.
really jealous that what y'all have some stuff we don't have out here in the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty special. The road riding is amazing. And I do spend a lot of time training on the road in the winter, especially, just to get that endurance and the volume up. And yeah, I'm spoiled growing up there. Like it's hard to beat it.
Yeah, I would say so. So let me ask this too, because you mentioned earlier like there are some risks associated with like riding and stuff. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I mean, cross country mountain bike racing has gotten a lot. The tracks have gotten a lot more technical over the years. Some of the stuff we're riding is questionable to be riding on an XC bike, but so yeah, I spend a lot of time like working on my technical skills, efficiency. Like it's not always about riding as hard as you can and doing your hardest intervals. I think that's something that's super overlooked is like um, riding efficiently, working on your technical skills, and also the mental side of things. But yeah, I mean, we're racing, we're redlined, going all out on these really gnarly features, and so mistakes can happen. I unfortunately had a really bad crash back in April.
Ooh, wow.
Luckily, could have been a lot worse, but yeah, it's just a good wake up call. Like this sport is high risk, and you just have to like be super focused and yeah, all the time.
Are you a mentor to anyone right now or that you know of?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think Cole and I started our own team this year, and one thing that when we were getting into the sport, as I said, like I really didn't have many people my age to ride with, and even older people that were like super very accessible to me. I didn't really have, so I think we really try to just be those accessible athletes to those younger people, and really try to help them wherever we can because we went through all the same things that they did, and yeah, we're really a lot. We have a lot more in common than they think.
Yeah, wow, that's actually really nice. And you said you sort of came through with the help of NICA. Do you think if NICA wasn't there, you wouldn't have like had as much opportunity, or like how strong a role do you think NICA played particularly? what I'm sort of asking is like, how many ways do you think you would have made it to where you are now? Like a lot of ways, or no, it was like by some odds?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, NICA was like super special to just be able to gain that race experience for me. I mean, we were racing every other weekend almost, and it was against, you know, your classmates, but just like being on a start line and going hard, you know, with all these people around you really prepared me for like national level races and beyond that. So yeah, I think it's an amazing stepping stone for high school athletes. And if there could be something like beyond high school that could bring them over into the pro level, like that's something we're definitely working on. But um, yeah, I think it definitely played a big role. I mean, if it wasn't there, I think my improvement would have been maybe a little bit slower. So
I
yeah.
see. I see. Yeah, that's definitely good to know, especially for those of them that may be potentially looking up to you right now that you don't know of, and didn't know that your support was out there for them. So that's really nice to know, especially since we're like so young right now. Let me see. Someone was asking about your, I guess, training habits. I think they want to know a little bit more, like, what kind of trainings do you do? And I guess you, since you have Cole, like, I guess y'all can ride together at times.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm super lucky to have him. I think like he pushes me so much. We're riding on the trails together, and that's helped me a lot. Like just being able to push that speed in training a lot of the time. But we don't ride together every day. And then, like I said, a lot of like a lot of the work is on the bike. But I do right now. I do like maybe 2 days in the gym per week, and in the winter it's like more like four. So just building that strength, kind of that dynamic strength all around. But yeah, I try to ride my mountain bike as much as possible. I think, like as I said, in the winter, I do a lot of riding on the road, but we race the mountain bike, so I try to ride that as much as I can and get as comfortable and familiar with all kinds of terrain as I can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I know there's like quite a few, pun intended, humps in the road for like someone to come this far or get this far. Because I know like you're gonna probably continue on. Like you started a YouTube channel recently too, right?
Yeah, we did.
That was so nice. I was starting watching some of the videos.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, thank you.
yeah,
You're
shout out to y'all.
listening.
No, it's totally fine. But I guess my question here is like, um, what kind of resources do you think that it could have been in the past or could be right now? Like, what kind of resources do you think like national groups, either like ours or other national groups that may be looking at this or just chiming in to know, like, what do you think that they could do to help support youth cyclists that want to become more serious in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I think just inspiring them to keep riding their bikes. I mean, I think a lot of people or a lot of young people, when they want to like race, there's like this pressure to, have a training program or get to all these races. And I think like just having fun on your bike and riding your mountain bike, if that's what you're doing, is what's so important because this sport is really long. Like, I'm still at the beginning of my career and I've been riding for a long time. So, yeah, I would just say just keep having fun and inspiring people to just be on bikes. Another thing that I think is kind of the elephant in the room about our sport is that it's not super accessible. Like
Yeah,
the equipment is expensive. Um, so another thing that like trips for kids really helped me kind of get into the sport. We had this recycle recenter in our hometown where they had just hand-me-down parts, and we go and build up our bikes and just get kind of secondhand stuff. That's what I raced on in the beginning. And so I think just no, you don't have to have like the newest bike or the newest glasses. Like that's not what's important. What's important is just getting out there on two wheels, whatever kind of wheels those may be, and just having fun. And yeah.
that's a good thing to know because even I to this point still thought like in order to have like to get around, like you still really need like a really nice bike in order to, I guess, feel as fast as you want it to feel.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's hard because you see a lot of other people like with the best equipment, or and I feel like there's this pressure kind of that, like, oh, I need that to do that race, or to be in there. And so really, like, you don't, and you just need whatever you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like humbling to know like even some of the people like you and Cole that sort of just are youth cyclists still right now in the sport. Really, that's somewhere some of the best people start just with whatever material they could have get their hands on at first.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think I was showing up to practices with jeans and hiking boots on in the beginning.
Oh, whoa, that's crazy. All right,
Doesn't
wow.
matter.
Wow, so let me see. How about your taste in like trails? Is it normally all mountain biking trails? I know you said you ride roads sometime, but does that normally matter in the type of like training that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cole and I have we've been working with Van Do It, so we have a travel van that we're able to go in the wintertime. It snows here where we're based, so we go to Sedona, and just we're able to travel around a lot and to find good places to train, and that allows us to see a really diverse range of terrain. And that's something that we really try to find, to just practice anything and everything, because when you show up at a race course, you don't know what the course is going to have in it.
Mm.
So to be able to kind of to train on kind of a really wide range of that stuff is kind of what we really try to work on. Yeah, we're definitely kind of missing the wet roots up here. It's kind of dry, but yeah, we can do what we can. So
Yeah, I mean with the van, depending on how far you go, you could probably find a little something for sure.
yeah, yeah, it's tempting, but we've definitely gotten ourselves in long, boring drives where we're regretting our decision.
Oh wow. All right. Well, what do you think? Well, let's back up a little bit, I guess. The National Bike Council, like one thing we try to do every single year is we try to do two national projects where we get like young people to do work on national projects. One thing we did this spring was something called Spring Back on Bikes, where we approached our local bike shops and asked them for tune-up tickets because we knew from 2020 coming to 2021, like the bike boom is still in crazy effect, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So like any young people that needed assistance getting back on their bikes, like free tune-up for the bikes that they currently have versus trying to go out and buy a whole new bike. We only did that in two cities, but it was able to be done by multiple young people in different locations. So shout out to Atlanta students advocating for pedestrians because they helped us out in Atlanta, Georgia. But what do you think a group like ours? Oh, and how can I forget? We go to the Youth Bike Summit too. So two projects, and then we go to the Youth Bike Summit. Have you heard of the Youth Bike Summit?
I have a little bit, but yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, Youth Bike Summit is an annual conference where a lot of young people come in and really just it's just a space for young people to teach, learn, ideate, create ideas around the cycling. I have a few particular presentations that I really liked, and there's some perspectives that you're going to get that you're not normally going to get from other folks. One particular presentation that I normally remember all the time was when I was in a room and these young people were actually from different countries, and they were like, yeah, we love to bike, but sometimes when we come into different bike shops who have like earner bike programs and stuff like that, they only teach in English. So what they did was they taught us how to fix bikes, like fix a flat, in different languages.
Cool.
So I didn't walk out knowing how to do different language, but I definitely did walk out understanding how they felt. And that's the kind of experience that you get at the Youth Bike Summit, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so totally good event. It's still happening this year too, but I can imagine with like a crazy college schedule, like it'd be hard to fit in.
Yeah, no, that's super cool though. I'd love to make it to that sometime.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going to be next year, but this year it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Okay.
where we actually have like a member there, and clearly we have like some influence, so it's super nice. That's not going to be like a heavy lift for us.
Cool.
But I would highly recommend young people that are into cycling to definitely hit up Youth Bike Summer or try to get to it. It's super nice. But yeah, so we do two projects, Youth Bike Summit, and then we sort of repeat. What do you think a model or group like that, like a National Bike Council, can do to help other young folks, like as leaders in the cycling community?
Yeah.
I know I'm putting you on the spot too. Like I'm just asking these tough questions.
No, no. I mean, first of all, that's super cool. Both of those things that you guys are doing. I mean, I think the more that, you said you had two cities that you were doing that in, and I know it's probably so difficult to plan and coordinate all of that, but I can't imagine. But I mean, those kinds of things are so cool, and I know if I was, when I was young, if something like that was happening in my town that I knew about, like that would be so cool to be able to go to. And just, I think those things really build the community. And that's so important as a young person getting into the sport because, cycling is the community. Everybody is always like, oh, the cycling community is so big. But sometimes I feel like it can feel too big to the point where, like young kids don't really know where to like start, where to get into it. So that, yeah, more of that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you, like, if you felt like there would have been another path to the direction that you've been taking because of that like so big feeling, overwhelming, or like maybe the path wasn't really clear. So I think some of the advice that you've been giving just now like really helps clear it up for those of us that didn't decide to continue with racing in like a very serious manner.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, what's crazy is that the sport has grown so much, even from when I was a freshman in high school, like, I don't know, 6 years ago or so. Like I remember our fields in the NICA, like the women's fields, or our women's fields at nationals, my first year ever, I think it was 2016. And I think there were like 10 or 12 of us. And now you go to nationals and there's like 60 junior girls. So just seeing that growth is crazy to me. And I think, maybe as a young person now, just getting into the sport, it might look a lot different because there's things like what you guys are doing, and there's NICA is also growing, and other initiatives are really building. So it's exciting.
Yeah, one thing I hope to do is maybe like the different issues that are coexisting with each other, maybe even combine forces to be able to do the same thing but better, get young
Yeah,
people on bikes.
yeah, for sure.
So that would be super nice to see like in the coming years. But yeah, this was super nice conversation. We just want to get a chance to know you. I'm sure there's many other young folks that are out there like just hitting the trails, putting in their time, and then obviously succeeding. So this was super nice and really nice to see. And for those who don't know, like I think I just dude, when did I message you? Like maybe just a few days ago, and you're just like so willing to hop on like so quick. So thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad we were able to connect, and thanks for reaching out and being flexible. Sorry I was
Yeah.
a little late, but yeah, super cool, and I hope we can work together in the future.
Yeah, and if you remind me, you said when I was younger. What does that mean?
Yeah, I know. I was listening to myself say that, and I was like, that's kind of weird because I feel like I am young, but I guess I was meaning like when high school, I don't know, 16 or so, like that age when I feel like a lot of people are really getting into the sport and maybe even getting into racing. So yeah, I guess I was kind of referring to that.
That's fair. That's fair. I think cycling should be accessible in schools, anyways. I think that's one of the main places. Like if it was accessible in school, I would have been there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, as long as you're under the age of 24, the National Bike Council normally recruits under age of 24, and this is normally the same for Youth Bike Summit. So as long as you're under that age, you're young. So let's take that. But thank you so much, and thanks for all the love, folks, for coming. And I see we saw Cole hop in too, so it's nice to meet you
Nice.
too. All right, see ya.
All right, take care.